History is a witness that whenever oppression and rebellion cross their limits on earth, the power and mercy of God reveal their glory. This is a story of arrogance versus monotheism, of pride versus faith. On one side was a king who, intoxicated by his power, declared himself the greatest Lord. On the other was a prophet of Allah who, with patience and certainty, stood before that tyrant carrying the flag of truth. This is not just a tale, but a mirror for every era, showing that no matter how powerful falsehood may seem, the final victory always belongs to the truth. So who is Pharaoh? Pharaoh is not the name of just one person. Whoever was the king of Egypt, his title was Pharaoh. There were about 18 or 19 pharaohs. It was the title of whichever king ruled. People often mistake it for a name. Now the Pharaoh of the time of Musa alayhi salam was very audacious. He was proud and arrogant about his power. For about 100 years, he never even caught a cold or a fever. He never fell ill. So when a person faces no hardship, their arrogance grows, and they begin to feel that they are the most powerful person in the world, and that nothing can happen to them. This was the same Pharaoh who announced in his time, "O people, I am your Lord. I'm your great Lord. Worship me." Instead of just making people serve him, he started making them worship him. Thousands of people would even prostrate to him. One day, it so happened that Pharaoh had a dream. He saw a star fall from the sky into his lap or onto his palace, and then his palace caught fire. He woke up in a panic. In the morning, he called the astrologers and soothsayers, asking for a correct interpretation of this dream. Many gave different interpretations. Then the most skilled astrologers said that the interpretation of this dream is that a child will be born in the clan of Bani Israel, the children of Israel, who will destroy your kingdom. He will be the cause of your kingdom's destruction. After hearing the dream's interpretation, he issued a royal decree that from that day on, any boy born in Bani Israel would be killed. This was to prevent the child who would destroy the kingdom from being born. After this announcement, any boy born in the Bani Israel clan was killed. He would have the sons slaughtered and leave the daughters alive. Within a year, they slaughtered 12,000 children. They would kill them as soon as they were born. A boy had no right to live. There was only fear. This was a time before the birth of Musa alayhi salam. So many children were killed before his birth. Then his courtiers requested that if all the boys were killed like this, where would they find young men to serve them? So it was decided that boys would be spared for 1 year and killed the next. Coincidentally, Musa alayhi salam was born in the year when they were to be killed. His mother was pregnant, and when the time of delivery came near, Allah, who can save whomever He wills, wherever He wills, protected him in His own way. Allah inspired the mother of Musa alayhi salam to go into the basement. She went into the basement and the child was born. A boy was born. Now she became terrified because this was the year of killing, and she was from the Bani Israel clan. She feared her child would be killed, slaughtered. So Allah the Almighty inspired her heart to take a wooden box, place the child in it and set it afloat in the river. How could any mother do that? But Allah says, we strengthened her heart. When Allah strengthens someone's heart, they can perform great tasks. His mother placed the child in a box and set it adrift by the bank of a river, telling her elder daughter to keep an eye on where the box goes. The elder sister of Musa alayhi salam followed the box. The box floated along and came to rest by the edge of a garden. That garden belonged to Pharaoh himself, and Pharaoh's wife used to come there for a walk in the evening. When she came there for recreation with her maids, she saw a box stuck at the edge of her garden. She asked for it to be brought to her. When it was opened, there was an extremely beautiful child inside. Allah always bestows beauty upon His prophets. Pharaoh had no children in his house. Pharaoh's wife picked him up and said, "Look, this is a very beautiful, handsome child," and brought him to her palace. She told Pharaoh, "Today, a child floating in the river washed ashore, and I have taken him." Pharaoh said, "Could this be the child who will be the cause of my kingdom's destruction?" His wife said, "How can that be? He is supposed to be born into the Bani Israel clan." This one came floating down a river. Who knows what country he came from? In any case, his wife said, "Do not kill him. Perhaps he will be of benefit to us, or we will adopt him as a son." Pharaoh agreed to his wife's words and kept the child. Acting on the woman's advice, he kept the child. Now, when it came to raising him, the child needed to be breastfed, so wet nurses were called. The child was being raised in the royal family, and many women came and tried to nurse him. Musa alayhi salam would not take milk from any of them. His sister was standing right there. She said, "I know a wet nurse whose milk every child drinks." She was told to bring her. She went and brought her own mother. Her mother came, and when she held Musa alayhi salam to her chest, he began to drink milk. So it became known everywhere that she was the most famous wet nurse in the area, and she would live in the palace, in the royal household, and would also be paid a wage for nursing the child. So he was raised in Pharaoh's house, nursed by his own mother, and she was even paid for it. This is the glory of the Lord of Majesty. He can raise whom he wills, how he wills, and protect the truth. This is the Lord's splendor. Anyway, Musa alayhi salam continued to be raised in Pharaoh's house. When he was about 2 years old, Pharaoh and his wife were sitting together. Musa alayhi salam, while playing, climbed into his lap, grabbed Pharaoh's beard, and slapped him across the face. This was the first time anyone had ever slapped the king's face. Although he was a child of the house, that resounding slap might have made Pharaoh see stars. He was shocked. He said, "How can this child hit me like this? How can he raise his hand against me?" He got up from the table and said to his wife, "My lady, I think this must be the child. This is the child who will go against our kingdom." His wife again said, "How can that be? He is just a small child, and out of love and affection. Children often do such things with their parents." Pharaoh said, "No, I need to check. This child is intelligent. He is aware. He knows." So Musa alayhi salam was tested there. Pharaoh's wife was trying to protect him. Pharaoh said, "All right, let's see if the child has understanding or not." For the test, his wife said, "Do one thing, bring a plate of fiery embers, glowing coals, and in another plate, bring white flowers. If the child is intelligent, he will pick the flowers. Otherwise, children's hands are more drawn to red things. He will see the fire." He said, "Fine. This test will be conducted." In one plate, red-hot embers and coals were brought, and in another, flowers were brought. Both were placed before him. Musa alayhi salam, like every prophet, knows everything from his mother's womb. Allah has blessed them with knowledge. Musa alayhi salam was called. At 2 years of age, he was told, "Child, pick one of these things." As Musa alayhi salam's hand began to move towards the plate of flowers. Since this was a test, the angel Jibril alayhi salam descended at that very moment and guided his hand into the fire. Musa alayhi salam picked up a coal from the fire and put it in his mouth, which burned his tongue. His hand was also burned. It was immediately taken away. Pharaoh was satisfied and thought, "No, he does not know. If he knew, he would not have picked up the fire." However, because of placing that coal on his tongue, the effect remained with Musa alayhi salam for his entire life. Then came the youth of Musa alayhi salam, raised in that same house. Then he left that place, and his mother had told him everything, that they were from Bani Israel, a family of prophets. They worshipped Allah the Almighty, and Pharaoh was a tyrant who made people worship him. Therefore, they were not from Pharaoh's family. After becoming a young man, Musa alayhi salam had understood this entire situation. One day it happened that Musa alayhi salam was going out of his locality. He saw 2 people fighting. One was from Bani Israel, his own clan, and the other was from Pharaoh's clan. The man from his clan called out, "Musa, help! I'm being killed. Save me, Musa, save me." Musa alayhi salam came and saw them quarreling. One was from his own clan, and besides, Pharaoh was very oppressive towards the Bani Israel at that time. So Musa alayhi salam, finding an opportunity, struck the pharaonic man with a single punch. The man fell to the ground and died instantly. He took a single blow from the hand of a prophet and was finished. One punch and his life was over. Then Hazrat Musa alayhi salam felt remorse, thinking, "What have I done?" He had only tried to break up their fight, but the man died at his hands. He began to seek forgiveness from Allah. "O Allah, please forgive me." Allah the Almighty forgave him, and a verse was revealed. Then a few days later, the man from his clan, the Israelite, was fighting with someone else again. It was the very next day. Today, he called out to Musa alayhi salam again. This time, Musa alayhi salam said, "The fault is yours. You were fighting yesterday and you are fighting again today. You have made fighting a daily habit." So Musa alayhi salam started walking towards this Israelite with his fist raised. The man got scared. He knew what had happened the day before. He knew what happens after receiving one punch. He started screaming, "Do you intend to kill me as you killed a man yesterday?" Saying this, he left the fight and ran away. He ran and told Pharaoh's people, and in fact Pharaoh himself, everything that Musa alayhi salam is from the Bani Israel, and that yesterday Musa alayhi salam had killed a pharaonic man, one of their clan. The matter escalated greatly. He snitched in Pharaoh's court. He was from the Bani Israel clan, the clan of Musa alayhi salam. And he went to Pharaoh and informed on Musa alayhi salam himself. Pharaoh made full preparations and said, "Capture Musa. I have been saying all along that he is the one, and my suspicion was correct." On this basis, he began to punish his wife, Hazrat Asya. He tormented her so severely that he would make her sleep with nails driven through her hands. She was hung from the ceiling by her hair. He inflicted extreme pain upon Hazrat Asya because she had brought faith in Musa alayhi salam. She believed in the God of Musa alayhi salam. So Pharaoh sent his warriors, his fighters, to capture Musa alayhi salam. As they set out, a well-wisher of his came running from the city, and a man came from the farthest end of the city, running. He came running from the city and said, "O Musa, indeed the chiefs are conspiring against you to kill you, so leave immediately. The army is coming after you to kill you. You must leave this town at once." Hearing his words, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam left. This was the land of Egypt. He left from there in a state of fear, looking behind him. Musa alayhi salam went to another town. He went to a place. This whole incident is detailed in Surah Al-Qasas, where he arrived at a town and saw a crowd at a well. A large crowd was drawing water. Among them, 2 girls were standing at a distance, shyly. They couldn't go into the crowd to get water. So Musa alayhi salam pushed through the crowd and drew water from the well for those 2 girls. He was strong and powerful. He drew the water and gave it to the 2 girls. They were 2 young women. They said, "Come, our father is a very pious and righteous man in this city. We will take you to him, and he will give you a reward for drawing water for us from the well. You look like a good person, a stranger, a traveler." Musa alayhi salam went with them. The 2 girls brought him to their home. Their father was no ordinary man. He was Hazrat Shuaib alayhi salam, a prophet of Allah. So, these 2 were the daughters of a prophet. Musa alayhi salam came, and he was asked what had happened to him. Musa alayhi salam narrated his entire story to Hazrat Shuaib alayhi salam. Hazrat Shuaib alayhi salam said, "You have escaped from an oppressive people. Stay here with us, there is no harm." Now, what reward would be given for drawing water for his daughters? Hazrat Shuaib alayhi salam said, "Indeed, I wish to marry one of my 2 daughters to you." For what reason? As a reward. I will marry you to one, and the dowry, mar, will be that you must look after my garden for 8 years. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam agreed. Instead of 8 years, Musa alayhi salam stayed there for 10 years, also getting married to the daughter of Shuaib alayhi salam, whose name is mentioned in history as Hazrat Safura. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam got married and started living there. After 10 years, Musa alayhi salam set off again on a journey, taking his wife and family with him. When Hazrat Musa alayhi salam returned, Allah the Almighty commanded him, "Now go to Pharaoh and call him to guidance. Preach to him and tell him to worship Allah, the one who has no partner." But before sending him, Allah put Musa alayhi salam through another training. He used to carry a wooden staff in his hand. Allah commanded, "O Musa, throw this staff on the ground." He threw it on the ground. The Quran says, "So he threw it, and behold, it was a serpent, moving swiftly As soon as Musa alayhi salam threw the staff on the ground, it became a terrifying dragon, a snake. The dragon was so dangerous that people would be filled with awe just by looking at it. Musa alayhi salam stepped back. Allah commanded, "Seize it and fear not." Musa alayhi salam picked up the snake again, and it turned back into a staff. This was a miracle of Musa alayhi salam. Throw the staff on the ground, and it becomes a slithering snake. Pick it up, and it's a staff again. His second miracle was that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was told to put his hand into his pocket and draw your hand to your side. You put your fist into your pocket, and when you pulled it out, your whole hand would shine with a light brighter than the sun. If you held up your hand, it would shine so brightly that if you took it out at night, it would illuminate everything. This was the second miracle of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. With these two miracles, Allah sent him to Pharaoh to go and invite him to faith. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam came to Egypt. Pharaoh got wind of it. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam first told him, "Look, I am a prophet of Allah. I have been sent by Allah. You must stop making people worship you and believe in the Lord who created you and me." Pharaoh said, "Musa, you grew up in my house. Don't you see I am the great Lord of all? I have been raising you for so long. What is this new thing you have brought?" Hazrat Musa alayhi salam continued his invitation. So Pharaoh asked, "What is the sign of your truthfulness?" Musa alayhi salam said, "Allah the Almighty has granted me some power from the unseen, which I will show you." Pharaoh said, "I have many such powers myself." He said, "Bring them. Gather all your powers and bring them all to face me." Pharaoh gathered all the magicians of his time. He told them they had to compete with Musa alayhi salam. All the magicians came, masters of great magic. They all came to face Musa alayhi salam and gathered in a field. Musa alayhi salam asked, "What do you wish to show?" They had brought small ropes with them. They said, "O Musa, we have great power. We can change the reality of many things." He said, "All right, show me." They threw their ropes into the field, and they all turned into slithering snakes. The field was filled with so many snakes. Now the Lord commanded Musa alayhi salam, "O Musa, you too cast down your staff." Musa alayhi salam threw his staff. It became a huge dragon, opened its mouth, and all those small snakes went into its mouth. It swallowed them all. In a single breath, it ate them all. "You have caught it." He said, "Throw more. Do you have anything else?" They all started trembling, because, as the commentators have stated, they knew it had eaten the ropes, and if they stood there any longer, it might eat them too. They quickly said, "We have believed in the Lord of Harun and Musa. We believe in the Lord of Aaron and Moses. We acknowledge you as a prophet of Allah. No, we will not compete." The very people Pharaoh had brought to oppose him all sided with Musa alayhi salam. They came over to the side of Musa alayhi salam. They all believed in Musa alayhi salam. Pharaoh's anger intensified. He said he would kill them, but Allah's punishment descended upon the Pharaoh's people. Several types of punishments came. In the end, Allah commanded Musa alayhi salam to take his believers and leave for the side of Mount Sinai on the edge of Egypt. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam set out with his army. They came upon the sea in the middle of their path. Allah commanded him to strike it with his staff. It is just one wooden staff, but how many tasks does it perform? It is used to face all the people. When something is touched by the hands of Allah's prophets, its greatness becomes something else entirely. Musa alayhi salam strikes the sea with his staff, and 12 dry paths opened up. Dry paths on the sea. Musa alayhi salam set out with his faithful followers. Pharaoh had come with his army to fight them. He said, "Follow Musa, or capture them somehow." He sent his army into the same paths in the sea. Allah says, "We then merged the sea as it was. He and his entire army were drowned in the sea forever." He died forever. What did Allah use to kill him? Allah killed him with water. While water is not considered to have much status, a very light thing when Allah gives it vigor, this same water can become a tsunami. This same water destroys Pharaoh. Allah can grant great power to small forces whenever He wills. My dears, after being saved from this Pharaoh, Musa alayhi salam brought his entire nation near the plain of Tea. After that, there are many more incidents related to Musa alayhi salam. The lessons we must learn from these events concern the life of Pharaoh, whom Allah the Almighty cast out of his court forever. In fact, after many years, the sea even threw his corpse out onto the shore. And so the very same waves of the sea that had parted for the righteous swallowed that tyrannical king and his entire army forever, the one who had called himself the greatest Lord. Allah destroyed him with water, the very symbol of life, so that the world may remember until the day of judgment how severe God's grasp is. Pharaoh's body is still preserved today as a lesson for the world, but his name has become a symbol of oppression and rebellion. This event teaches us that power and kingdoms are temporary, but the reward for faith and patience is eternal. Indeed, when Allah wills, He can create paths in the sea with a staff, and when He wills, He can turn that same sea into a graveyard for tyrants. All power is in the hands of that one Allah alone, who is the owner of the heavens and the earth.